It was later published under the title The Philosophy of the Teachings of Islam.
معظم الدخل الذي كان يتقاضاه حضرة مولانا نور الدين أثناء عمله في الطب من الأجور القليلة أيضا التي كان يتلقاها كانت تنفق على الأيتام والأرامل والفقراء والطلاب المعوزين الذين كانوا يأتون للدراسة في قاديان وحتى خارج قاديان. وقد أنشأ حضرته دار اليتامى لرعاية الأيتام ودار الشيوخ لرعاية الكبار في السن وأدارهما في تلك الفترة.
When Talimul Islam School, Qadian, started functioning in 1898, he taught Arabic there. He was so generous that a number of students received expenses for education from him. The Jamaat has always been on the forefront of utilizing the media technology for spreading its message of peace to the world. In October 1902, under the direction of the Promised Messiah, a brief commentary on chapter 103 of the Holy Quran was recorded on a phonograph record by Mulana Nur-ud-deen. From this rather humble beginning, 90 years later in 1992, it grew to become MTA International, the community's own satellite channel. In 1905, the Promised Messiah earmarked a large tract of land in Qadian for a graveyard, about which he urged his followers to sign a will and pledge to give 1/10 of their property on their death to the movement. The Promised Messiah named this graveyard Bahishti Maqbara, meaning the celestial graveyard.
Well, the institution of Bahishti Maqbara is very closely related to the book of the Promised Messiah ﷺ, which is known as Al-Wasiyat. It was written in 1905, and the Promised Messiah ﷺ, referring to certain revelations which indicated about his demise in near future, he also mentioned that he would like to set up, under divine instruction, a heavenly graveyard. So in order to look after various duties and various aspects of this one, he mentioned certain points and also started the foundation of one Anjman-e-Karpardaz Masaleh Kabristan. That is how it was named. It was an administrative body to look after the affairs of this heavenly graveyard. And Hadhrat Mulana Nur-ud-deen Sahib actually was very fortunate that he, from the very beginning, was asked to play a very central role in the affairs of Bahishti Maqbara.
Towards the end of 1905, the Promised Messiah received warnings through revelations vouchsafed to him of the imminent approach of his end, and that only a short span, 2 or 3 years of his life was left. He published his testamentary direction, offering his community the consolation that after his departure, God would help them with a second manifestation of his power, as had happened at the death of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, when God had raised Hadhrat Abu Bakr as his second manifestation to rally the Muslims.
In 1905, he established the institution of Al-Wasiyat, and this required the the administration to be handled by some men, some members. So for that matter, he appointed an association which was called Sadr Anjuman Ahmadiyya, and Hadhrat Khalifatul Massih was appointed its first president, so that they should look after the administrative affairs.
The Promised Messiah, peace be upon him, passed away after a short illness at Lahore on the 26th of May 1908. His sacred remains were transported to Qadian, where they arrived at 8 a.m. on the 27th of May. They were placed in his garden house, where during the greater part of the day his devoted followers, as they arrived from near and far, had the opportunity of beholding for the last time the serene countenance of their holy and dearly loved master. The news of the death of the Promised Messiah struck the members of the movement with shattering poignancy. They were bewildered, and in the hour of their utter bereavement had recourse to humble and earnest supplications for guidance. Perhaps the most deeply affected was Mulana Nur-ud-deen, who gave expression to his deep sense of loss repeatedly in the exclamation, After Hazrat's death, the universe seems lifeless. What to do? Which way to turn?
So the same day, the members, the elders of the community, they gathered in the house of Nawab Muhammad Ali Khan Sahib, and Khwaja Kamaluddin Sahib made a very passionate lecture and statement at that time that the one who was appointed by Allah, he came and he did his duty, now he has passed away. What should we do while he has gone? So naturally, there was a moment of silence, but then some members of the Jamaat, they started speaking and expressing their opinion.
And some of the members of the Anjuman, especially Sheikh Rahmatullah Sahib, he stood up and he said that in my opinion, Hadhrat Maulvi Nur-ud-deen Sahib is the most appropriate man to lead the Jamaat as the spiritual leader. So let us all agree that he should be the Khalifa.
इसके बाद ख्वाजा कमालुद्दीन साहब ने कहा कि ठीक है, आपकी तजवीज़ बेहतर है, बहुत अच्छी है, लेकिन इससे पहले कि हम कोई फ़ैसला करें हमें हज़रत अम्मा जान से पूछ लेना चाहिए। हज़रत अम्मा जान हज़रत मसीह मौद अलैहिस्सलाम की बेगम है, अहलिया थी। तो जब हज़रत अम्मा जान के पास ये तजवीज़ पेश की गई तो हज़रत अम्मा जान ने कहा कि बेशक हज़रत हकीम मौलवी नूरुद्दीन साहब जमात के बहुत मुअज़्ज़ज़ आदमी हैं और उनसे बेहतर मैं नहीं समझती कि कोई शख्स जमात की रहनुमाई कर सकता है।
وجه أفراد مؤسسة صدر أنجمن أحمدية إلى حضرته وقالوا له إن قرارنا هو أن تتولى الخلافة، فقال لهم لن أستطيع الإجابة الآن، ينبغي أن أدعو أولا، فتوضأ وصلى ركعتين واستخار الله تبارك وتعالى، ثم قال لهم جميعا بعد ذلك تعالوا نذهب إلى حيث حبيبنا، وهو يقصد الإمام المهدي عليه الصلاة والسلام الذي كان مسجن ولم يكن قد دفن بعد، وذهبوا جميعا بعد ذلك إلى هناك.
Having arrived in the garden, Mufti Muhammad Sadiq Sahib, in accordance with the wishes of all present, read out the following request.
According to the command of the promised Messiah, alayhi salatu wassalam, according to the command of the promised Messiah, alayhi salatu wassalam, set out in Al-Wasiyat, we Ahmadis, whose signatures are appended below, are sincerely convinced that all present and future members of the Ahmadiyya community should take the pledge of spiritual allegiance in the name of Ahmad to the first emigrant, Hazrat Hakeem Nur-ud-deen, who is the most learned and most virtuous of us all, and is the most devoted and oldest friend of Hazrat Imam, who held him up as an excellent example. As he said, "How good would it be if every member of the community were a Nur-ud-deen? So would it be if every heart were filled with the light of the certainty of faith." Hazrat Mulana Sahib's orders will be as binding upon us as were the orders of the promised Messiah.
In reply, Hazrat Mulana Nur-ud-deen observed during the course of an address,
"Look at my past life. I have never coveted leadership. I know myself well and my Lord knows me even better. I desire nothing of the world. All I desire is that my Master may be pleased with me. For this I pray, and for this have I resided and will continue to reside at Qadian. I have for some time reflected on what shall be our situation after Hazrat Sahib. That is why I have striven that Mian Mahmud's education may be pushed forward. There are three likely persons among the close relatives of Hazrat Sahib. There is Mian Mahmud Ahmad, who is both my brother and my son.